Hello and welcome to coverage of the Primordial Discord Tournament number 4. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the Swiss Round 2 match between Phaenyxx and Aliquanto. So both of these players played in the grand finals of the previous tournament. Right now they're meeting up in Round 2, and let's see what decks they're on. It seems like Aliquanto is on blue-black War Control. Sticking to a similar theme, last tournament he played a blue-red War Control, if I remember right. Meanwhile, it seems like Phaenyxx is playing like blue-red Kaladesh mid-range, or like Aggro. Yeah, actually, lots of these cards seem more aggressive, so probably like a blue-red artifact aggro style thing. Aliquanto is going to stymie that with these Wall of Runes. These 1/1 servos are not going to be able to get over these Wall of Runes, but could potentially go wider than them. So Implement of Combustion, not a great card. It does work well as sack fodder for Quicksmith Rebel, and also just a burn spell that draws you a card is not bad. That's why you see in Pauper people play Needle Drop. But yeah, and then Phaenyxx is going to pay 2 for the Aether Swooper. This one will be able to go over the Wall of Runes and gives Phaenyxx some energy. So right now doesn't have any other energy outlets, so probably will just be using this for the servos unless Phaenyxx has some really impactful energy payoffs. I do remember there was a 5-mana Improviser which had some strong energy payoffs in Kaladesh Standard. It was like 3 blue-red, and I think you could pay some energy to make Topters. So that might be coming out. So Aliquanto, meanwhile, I'm surprised that Aliquanto isn't running out the Jace right then, but I guess it's because the Aether Swooper can attack it. But I feel like you can play Jace and then tick him up, and then you don't care about him not getting to his ult. Because Aliquanto doesn't have anything better to do with their mana at instant speed. Like, I guess Obnix's Cruelty could work for some of the bigger creatures, but anyways, Phaenyxx is going to attack in with the Aether Swooper, create a servo. Then it's going to improvise in a Sweatwork Brawler for 1 mana. Then still has enough mana. No, does not have enough mana because it doesn't have Improvise. I was going to say, with this last servo and these 3 lands, could play the Quicksmith Rebel, but that is not in the cards. Yeah, on end, Aliquanto is going to Obnix's Cruelty, the Sweatworks Brawler. And unfortunately, Phaenyxx still has this Enraged Giant, which is a must-answer threat because he can kill the Wall of Runes. And Quicksmith Rebel makes it so that Phaenyxx doesn't even have to attack to get damage in. So Aliquanto going to Callous Dismissal on the servo. It works essentially as a kill spell. And also now has an army token that doesn't really do much right now because the Wall of Runes function as better blockers. Really, I think Aliquanto needs some way to deal with the Aether Swooper, but I guess the plan is next turn probably Bond of Insight and then rebuy the Cruelty and Callous Dismissal or something better if Aliquanto hits something better than the Callous Dismissal. But yeah, Phaenyxx is going to improvise for 3 and then pay 3 for the Enraged Giant. Going to swing for the fences here. So Swooper gets in for 1 and the Enraged Giant is going to at minimum kill a wall of... But nope, Aliquanto's just going to let it get in, so a whopping 5 damage coming in from Phaenyxx right there. And I guess the thought is, why give up the Wall of Runes when next turn you can just rebuy Bond of Insight and then kill it with Obnix's Cruelty in a turn. So yep, here comes the Bond of Insight. Notably, this does help with milling yourself out or milling your opponent out, if that's something that you want to do with this Jace Wielder of Mysteries. Phaenyxx milling Aether Sphere Harvester, which is very strong, yeah. And another Aether Swooper and a Maverick Thopterist. All of which would have been great hits for Phaenyxx, so unfortunate that he had to mill them. And does rebuy the Obnix's Cruelty and Callous Dismissal. I feel like, it didn't mill anything better. Toll of the Invasion, plausibly, but then I think not if... That's only really useful if Aliquanto had been able to play it that turn, plus if Phaenyxx had, like, more cards in hand. So Phaenyxx is going to crack the Implement of Combustion, draws into a Sweatworks Brawler. That is definitely a good card to play out right here. You don't want to play the Quicksmith Rebel because you know that Aliquanto has the Callous Dismissal, so Aliquanto will just Callous Dismissal whatever artifact you give the ability to with Quicksmith Rebel. This Renegade map seems real sus, but I guess it's another artifact. It's just still, in an aggressive deck, I don't know if this is where you want to be. But anyways, he's going to swing in with the Enraged Giant plus the Aether Swooper. I think Aliquanto is liable to take this again. Yeah, okay, he's just going to take 5 again, which is dangerous, but I guess Aliquanto's thought process is 8 life isn't close enough to being burnt out, and I do have Cruelty to be able to kill the Giant next turn. So yeah, he's going to improvise out, Phaenyxx is going to improvise out the Sweatworks Brawler, Aliquanto going to Callous Dismissal the Brawler, and then probably Obnyx the Enraged Giant. And yep, yeah, it's just going to do that. So Sweatworks Brawler still gets to re-come down next turn though, and I don't know what Aliquanto's going to do about that. Okay, he's going to swing in for 2 with the Zombie Army, but yeah, that's not nearly enough of a clock. And this Aether Swooper is still there as a reasonable clock. Sweatworks Brawler also helps. Aliquanto has no more answers, and as soon as Phaenyxx gets Aliquanto to 2 life, can just play the Quicksmith Rebel and then shock Aliquanto to death. Oh, he's going to play the Quicksmith Rebel now. I guess is thinking, okay, Aliquanto is played out the Callous Dismissal I know is in his hand. Might as well just force him to have it again. Oh, and it isn't going to Quicksmith Rebel face. He's going to Quicksmith Rebel the token. I feel like that's a mistake, especially because with the Quicksmith Rebel, you have like you significantly speed up your clock on Aliquanto if you just shoot face. Okay, and then main 2 is just going to run out the Renegade map, because why not? Oh, and the top-decked Callous Dismissal for Aliquanto. Yeah, that Servo Schematics is going to straight back Phaenyx's hand. Okay, he's going to +1 Jace, milling out an Ornithopter and Implement of Combustion. And yep, Callous Dismissal. On the Quicksmith Rebel, that feels like a punt. That feels like a punty punt. Because now Phaenyxx just replays the Quicksmith Rebel and renames Servo Schematics. And then can just shock Aliquanto's face. Like, I feel like there, you don't care about a 3-2 body because you have Wall of Runes. What you do care is something that can bypass that, like the Servo Schematics. And Aliquanto doesn't have another answer for the Quicksmith Rebel. So yeah, that feels like a huge punt to me on Aliquanto's part. Did he forget that it says non-land permanent? Yeah, Phaenyxx is just going to replay the Quicksmith Rebel. Servo Schematics is once again going to become a shock machine. Going to poke Aliquanto in the face for 2, and then swing in with the Aether Swooper. Oh, but first we're going to improvise out the Sweatworks Brawler? Sure. The Aether Swooper gets in for face. Now the problem is, if Aliquanto gets an answer for this Quicksmith Rebel, Phaenyxx is 1 damage off killing Aliquanto next turn. So yeah, that's why I really think Phaenyxx should have just shot face rather than the Zombie Army earlier with the Quicksmith Rebel. Okay, Aliquanto going to play and Aid the Fallen. Ooh, gets back a Kasmina, which was milled off of the Jace earlier. Gonna replay it. And then -2 gets a Wizard, draws a card, and unfortunately it's just all lands. Aliquanto's getting hella flooded out here. Ooh, and a Metallic Rebuke, which is really nice, but not at this point of the game. So he's just going to play the Renegade map for some more thinning, and then tap Servo Schematics, shock Aliquanto, and then swing in with the Aether Swooper. And yep, Aliquanto is down to 1 life. If he can win from this, it's going to be a miracle. Bond of Insight is good here, allows Aliquanto to rebuy the Callous Dismissal. And does he? Oh, he does not have enough mana for, or what he can do is, well, it's going to Jace +1, draw Aid the Fallen, mills himself for 2, hitting Erratic Visionaries, gets a Wizard, and then he's going to Kasmina -2 as well. So my thought is you Bond of Insight, getting back 2 Callous Dismissals, and then you bounce the Servo Schematics and the Aether Swooper, and that saves Aliquanto for 1 turn. I don't think that Aliquanto has any better plays at this point. I also think that Aliquanto should be pointing, or I guess Jace wins you the game if you mill yourself, so it doesn't matter which way he's pointing the mill. Oh, and Aliquanto's just conceding. I think Aliquanto forgot that Callous Dismissal can bounce non-land permanents, or maybe he just thought that even if I bounce it, I'm still losing this game anyways to the Aether Swooper. Still, feels bad that he didn't play to his outs. Or maybe does Bond of Insight require you to choose cards with different names? No, Bond of Insight does require you to have cards with different names. It could have got back both Callous Dismissals. Okay, getting into game 2. Phaenyxx with a 1-land hand route here. Kind of risky, but does have the turn 1 Renegade map to be able to fix. And it looks like he brought some negates out of the side, so probably will be playing a more tempo-y game. Meanwhile, for Aliquanto, has a good curve of Callous Dismissal into Obnixious Cruelty as multiple pieces of interaction. And then Kasmina Enigmatic Mentor can come down if Phaenyxx misses a step, and then can start generating value and act as a win con for Aliquanto. So Phaenyxx is going to crack the Renegade map, find a mountain, I presume, and then run out the Aether Super, or going to wait to be safe to... Nope, it's going to run out the Aether Super. And then I think if you're Aliquanto, I feel like you insta-Obnixious Cruelty this, or might want to save Obnixious Cruelty for something more dangerous, but I think Aether Super proved itself to be more than dangerous last game. Okay, he's just going to pass first, which does make sense because Obnixious Cruelty does have that fun instant speed ability. Okay, and yeah, at start of combat, just going to Cruelty the Aether Super, which stymies the attempt by Super to create a artifact token. Meanwhile, Phaenyxx is going to play Implement of Combustion and run out the Ornithopter, which, you know, these cheap artifacts, and in the case of Ornithopter, free artifacts, will let Phaenyxx run out cheap Improvise cards once he has them, even if he's only on 2 lands, such as that Metallic Rebuke on the Toll of the Invasion. Only needed that 1 mana up, along with the Implement of Combustion and Ornithopter. And Phaenyxx is interestingly just going to pass here. I guess the thought is, has Negate plus Metallic Rebuke to stop anything. And I think, yeah, now you just run out Metallic Rebuke number 2. Yep, Metallic Rebuke number 2 coming down. And then once he hits another land, can play the Embrawl Gear Smash. Oh, can't actually. I was going to say, could play the Embrawl Gear Smasher and hold up Negate. But I forgot that Negate does not have... But both of these cards don't have Improvise. Not every card has Improvise. So he's going to tap 2 for the Servo Schematic. Unfortunately for Phaenyxx, the top deck island will mean that Aliquanto can run out Enter the God Eternals. But it's actually... There's no reason for Aliquanto to do it at this point, I guess, because Servo and the Ornithopter aren't worth killing. So he's going to save this as big removal for something more impactful, such as perhaps this Improvised Sweatworks Brawler. And yep, 1 mana Sweatwork Brawler coming up, but didn't attack with the Servo. I think that's a mistake. And now Aliquanto is free to enter the God Eternals. Yep, is going to enter the God Eternals, killing the Sweatworks Brawler, gaining 4, and then can also mill himself for 4, and then amass 4. And milling himself is actually pretty fine, because he has the card which allows you to rebuy Planeswalker Aid the Fallen in his deck. And man, also can reuse Enter the God Eternals if he hits a Bond of Insight, which is kind of disgusting. Yeah, I think Aliquanto's deck definitely gets a lot of mileage off of that self-mill, but I almost wonder, yeah, if it would be better until you have an Aid the Fallen not to go in on the self-mill, but I guess go big or go home, which Phaenyxx is also is also a proponent of. Gonna play the Maverick Top Tourist for 2 mana, gets 2 flyers out of the bargain as well, which, as we've seen, Aliquanto can gum up the board and has good single target removal, but I don't know how he'll deal with Phaenyxx going wide. Okay, he's gonna swing in with the 4/4 Zombie Army. Phaenyxx is just gonna take it, and then just gonna pass. Aliquanto has the 4th Obnixious Cruelty in hand, so can answer a bigger creature if he needs to. So he's swinging in for 5 with Top Tourist plus Servos and Thopters. But yeah, it isn't a faster clock than what Aliquanto has. And until Phaenyxx hits 3 lands, can't play this Embrawl Gear Smasher to make it faster. So he's going to try and run out a Callous Dismissal. I think Phaenyxx just negates this because he has... No! He's just going to let it happen. I was going to say Phaenyxx doesn't have anything better to do. Might as well run out double negate. But yeah, now this zombie army kills in 3 turns. On end, Phaenyxx is going to crack the Implement of Combustion, poke Aliquanto for 1, draw a card, and there's a third land, so Emerald Gear Smasher can come down. I don't know if it'll be enough, though. Phaenyxx really needs some way to answer this zombie army. I guess could chump with the Ornithopter if things get really bad, but Aliquanto does have the Obnix's Cruelty to kill a chump blocker. So Phaenyxx is going to swing in with the Topters and the Servo. Paid for the Implement of Combustion number 2, but didn't run out the Emerald Gear Smasher. Okay, he's going to swing in with the zombie army, but then Phaenyxx is going to chump with the Ornithopter. Surprised that he didn't play the Aether Swooper last turn. I guess wanted Negate mana up. Okay, he's going to play a Renegade map, and then going to swing in with just the Servo and Topterist, holding back the Topter as a chump blocker for the army. Aliquanto, however, is just going to Callous Dismissal the Topter. I think Phaenyxx has to negate this. Yeah, Phaenyxx is just going to negate it. Aliquanto also does have a Tyrant Scorn, but I guess the question is, does he want to use that now? Nope, for now he's just going to swing in with the zombie army. Gets chumped, but can just hold up Tyrant Scorn plus Obnix's Cruelty, and then I think the zombie army just wins the game, because as soon as Phaenyxx gets down to 1 hit while kill range, Aliquanto can just machine gun down any blockers left behind. Okay, finally Phaenyxx is going to run out the Emerald Gear Smasher, and then can use this to sacrifice the Servo schematics, ping Aliquanto, and then get a Servo out of the deal. Okay, going to swing for 2 with the Maverick Topterist. On end, Aliquanto is going to Tyrant Scorn the Emerald Gear Smasher. Doesn't want Phaenyxx getting any value out of it. Oh, and has the Toll of the Invasion. Yeah, he's going to immediately run that out. Does want to make this zombie kill in 2 hits rather than 3. And Phaenyxx, yeah, doesn't have the mana for negate number 2. So yeah, Aliquanto's just going to grab the negate, swings in with the zombie army, gets chumped by the Servo. But now Phaenyxx only has Maverick Topterist up to chump with. On upkeep, he's going to crack the Renegade map to hopefully get a better hit. Could also probably crack the Implement of Combustion to draw a card, even if Phaenyxx doesn't get a good hit on the draw step. Yeah, is cracking Implement of Combustion. It draws into another, and a Metallic Rebuke, but none of those answer a resolved creature. Okay, so he's going to play the Aether Swooper. Can still play Metallic Rebuke, which if Aliquanto goes for the Obnix's Cruelty on end, will be able to counter it. So he's going to attack him with the Maverick Topterist, has the Aether Swooper up as a blocker. Aliquanto is wisely going to pass, and then I think just attack in with the zombie army. Yup, Phaenyxx. Is Phaenyxx going to block here? No, Phaenyxx is not going to block. He's just going to take the 6. I guess playing to his outs. So now swings in for 3. Implement of Combustion deals 2. So if Phaenyxx gets the rare, which allows for a shock, then Phaenyxx could potentially win right here. What he doesn't know is that even in that event, Aliquanto has the Obnix Cruelty. Okay, so on upkeep, once again, is going to crack the Implement of Combustion, draw a card. Mechanized Production, so that's the other rare. And a Renegade map, so neither are enough. So he's just going to swing in with the Aether Swooper, and then... Nope, okay, so Obnix's Cruelty on the Aether Swooper at start of combat. Not going to let that happen. And Phaenyxx now can't swing in with the Maverick Topterist, because otherwise he just loses. So he's going to Mechanize Production on the Servo schematic, which is actually pretty good, because now it basically means Phaenyxx gets a Servo per turn. And Aliquanto does not hit a removal spell, just getting so flooded here. Have to swing in to force Phaenyxx to chump with the Maverick Topterist. And now Phaenyxx is basically out of creatures. Will get a Servo each upkeep, but if Aliquanto has a removal spell, it's just boned. Aether Swooper is a good top deck here. And has a Metallic Rebuke to be able to counter a single removal spell, though actually it's pretty dead here because of how many lands Aliquanto has. So Aether Swooper coming out. Phaenyxx has made this back so much, and like if the Aether Swooper can keep attacking in, since it creates blockers for itself, it probably will be able to just get there in time, especially with burn, if Phaenyxx top decks it. And another land for Aliquanto! So flooded! This is 11 lands out of what I presume is like 16 to 17. On upkeep is going to crack the Renegade map again. Gets another Servo schematic as well. Okay, yeah, so there. But Phaenyxx also hits a land. Though I guess for him, he's definitely on the opposite end of mana screwed for most of this game. He's going to attack him with the Swooper. This time, there's no cruelty to take care of it. Aliquanto gets pinged for 1, and Phaenyxx gets to make a servo token. And now Aliquanto's in a bind because a single removal spell will not be able to push him through to victory. He really needs a Bonds of Creation and then rebuy 2 Callous Dismissals. Or, another land. Another land works. So I'm going to attack him with the zombie. Phaenyxx chumps. And Aliquanto stay getting lands. Out of the top 25 cards of his library, he's drawn 14 of his 16 lands. Not drawn, but has drawn 12 of them, and then has another 2 in his graveyard that were milled earlier. So he's seen 14 of his 16 lands. Okay, on upkeep, gets another servo from the servo schematic off of Mechanized Production. And Phaenyxx also hitting a land. Just going to swing in with the Aether Swooper again. Can actually swing in with the Aether Swooper and a servo this turn. Yeah, he's going to swing in with Aether Swooper plus servo. Aliquanto's down to 2 life. And Phaenyxx still has 2 blockers. At this point, Aliquanto needs that Bonds of Creation. But that's another land! Are you kidding me? Okay, yeah, so Aliquanto's basically lost this. Attacks him with the zombie army. Phaenyxx just chumps. And that's game. Aliquanto got so flooded that game. And I think as soon as the Enter the God Eternals hit, it was like, it felt like this was Aliquanto's game to lose. But his deck was like, you know what, Phaenyxx? I got you. I can just keep giving Aliquanto lands. But yeah, not the way that we want to see it play out, but Phaenyxx also did play really well till the very end, didn't give up, and just kept holding on to their outs. So, good games to both players, and until next time, this is Caillou signing off.